Thank you ever so much for joining us. The children of Pembroke Infant School in Year 2 have a few questions for you. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you very much for asking. I'm looking forward to telling you all about India and my culture.
Lovely. So let's start with the first question. The children would like to know how big India is.
So India is 3,287,263 square kilometers. So I was looking this up and thinking it's a really, really big country. We could probably put about 13, the size of UK, 13 times within India. So it is pretty big compared to our country here.
Amazing. That's very big. Thank you. The next question. How many people live in India?
Right. So I looked this up. And that is the amount of people that live in India. So that is 1.3 billion people that live there. It is the second highest populated country in the world. So the first highest is China, and then it's India. Now I wanted to compare this so we can compare to how many people live in our country. So that is how many we have living in our country. So you can see that the number is much, much larger. So here we have 66 million people that live in this country.
Wow, lots more in India. Yeah. Thank you. And the children would like to know, how do you make Indian food?
Well, there's lots of different things that we eat in India, but one of the most common things is curry. So I thought I would share with you all of the spices. So we put lots more spices in our food than we do in English food. So I've got my spice tin over here, and you can see all the different spices in there. So we use lots and lots of things in our cooking. One of the most popular ones is this one, the yellow one, that's turmeric. So we use that a lot. And we like spicy and hot food. So we always have chili powder in our food. And then we have, and I think you probably, a lot of people probably already use this, but we have garam masala, which is just a mix of spices that we use in our cooking. And our curry, we like eating it with rice. So everybody, especially in India, their staple food is rice. So they'll eat rice every day. And in India, unlike here, they tend to eat lots of hot food for their breakfast. So they might have a curry and rice for breakfast or something. Sometimes they make them up into like little cakes, but they're made of rice. So yeah, we like lots of different spices in our Indian food.
That certainly sounds yummy. I quite like the idea of a meal for breakfast, like an evening meal. That's good. And what are Indian schools like?
So there are lots of different types of schools, and I think it depends where you live. Now, India, there are lots and lots of big cities like Mumbai and Delhi, and a lot of their schools are very similar to ours. But if you go to the little villages, sometimes they'll just have a little room as a school. And sometimes they don't even have chairs and tables. They will sit on the floor in the classes. So slightly different. The other interesting difference between schools here and in India is that in India, you go to school Monday to Saturday. So 6 days a week you go to school. Their schools normally start about 7 o'clock and finish about 1:30. And that's generally because in India, it's very, very hot. And by the time you get to lunchtime, it gets really, really hot. And so that's why they start the schools early. And then the children will go home, have a little rest. And then normally what you find is that all the children will come out to play after 5 o'clock when it gets a little bit cooler until quite late at night. So a bit different to here.
Yeah, I quite like the sound of finishing at 1 o'clock. I'm not sure about the 6-day week. Right. So the children would also like to know, does everybody in India have brown skin?
Yes, they do. One of the things in India is that it's pretty hot. So I don't know whether you remember back to in August when we had that really, really hot spell and it was really hot for a week. That is the type of temperature it is there generally all the time, or even hotter. So that for them would be cool. However, so what happens is that we have brown skin because it's the melanin in the skin that protects your skin from the sun. And so, I don't know, but you know, when we go on holiday and we'll come back and we get a tan, well, that's the melanin coming into your skin. So yeah, most of the people in India do have brown skin.
Lovely, thank you. And the next question is, why do Indians learn English?
Well, I don't know whether you know, but the British used to own and were in Raj of India between, let me look it up, 1858 and 1947. So it was a very long time, and the British had lots of soldiers that went over. So a lot of the, and that's when they started to teach the Indians English. A lot of these Indian soldiers actually had families over there, and they built colonies and things like that. So that's pretty much why a lot of Indians learn English. And a lot of companies here in the UK have call centres over in India. So a lot of the people who work in those call centres will need to know English to be able to talk to us here.
That's really interesting, thank you. One of the questions from the children was, which side of the road do you drive on in India?
So they drive on the same side left like us, and that is pretty much because the British were in Raj in India and they brought that idea across to India that you drive on the left-hand side of the road.
Thank you. And what does the Indian flag look like?
I have a picture here. That's the Indian flag. So it's got the 3 colours and it's got a spoke in the middle. And the spoke is like the wheel of a cart. So the idea behind that is that you work hard for what you earn and what you get, and that's how you live. So that is the Indian flag.
That's wonderful, thank you. And our last question, sadly, is what clothes and shoes do Indian people wear?
So the traditional clothing to wear is saris and lengas for the girls. Generally, because it's really hot there, they find if you cover your legs, because they will wrap a sari. Sari is a really long bit of material that you wrap around yourself and you drape over your shoulder. Sometimes they'll drape it over their heads. It's to keep them cool, really. That's pretty much why they wear them. I have one here that I was going to show you. This is my sari. So you notice that they're very colourful. They can be quite glittery. I mean, this is one that you wouldn't wear every day. You'd probably wear that to a wedding or some kind of festival. But yes, everyone wears very colourful clothes in comparison to us here. And the girls, I've got a little thing to show you. They might wear a little top and a skirt. That's generally what the girls would wear over there. But like how I was saying to you, in the villages, that's pretty much what they would wear. But in the larger cities, they tend to wear traditional clothes like us now. you know, and girls and boys that go to school will wear similar clothes to what we wear here at school. So the boys will wear shorts and t-shirt or a shirt, and the girls will wear a shirt and skirt. So very, very similar to us here now. So yeah, there's a mixture, but those are our traditional clothes that we wear. And shoes, because it's so hot there, most people just wear flip-flops or sandals or something like that.
That sounds pretty good to me. And can we pop in one more sneaky question, Mrs. Rolfe?
I think so. That's quite a good one. What traditions do you have in India?
So we have loads of festivals because we have lots of gods that we worship. But I thought I'd tell you about a couple of my favorite ones. So the first one is Diwali. So that's our festival of light. It normally kind of happens about November time. It always changes every year what day it falls on. But that's our festival of light, and that is when our god, Lord Rama, came back to his where he ruled after he'd been banished for 14 years. And part of the whole idea, when the people welcomed him, they laid divas, which are little lights, and they laid them all the way down the path to show him the way home. So that's why we celebrate that. That's a really big festival that we have in India. And part of that is like divas, we'll make rangoli patterns. So that's like sand patterns that we put, and we'll put them out on our veranda, and that's to welcome people to our home. We also will let off fireworks and things like that, and just generally have parties, eat lots of food, make lots of Indian sweets that we share with our family. We always go and visit our families. And then the following day, so we have Diwali. Diwali is normally for 5 days. And at the end of Diwali, we celebrate our New Year. And so what we do on our New Year is that we will visit all of our family, give them gifts. Generally, it's money. So that's why the children like it, because they get lots of money. And we wear new clothes to kind of signify the new year. So yeah, Diwali is one of my favorite ones. The other one is Raksha Bandhan, which we celebrate. So that is sisters will tie decorative bands on their brothers, and that's to kind of wish them good luck, keep them safe. And then the brothers will in return give the sisters either money or gifts. So that's a very big thing that we always love, that tradition in our family. And we'll go and tie our bands on our brothers every year. So yeah, those are my two favorite festivals, but there's always a festival going on.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I love the sound of that. It's really good.
Lots of celebrations then.
Yeah.
So that's our question and answer over for today. Just want to thank you again for coming. Lots of information there, and you two have been really excited learning about India. So we honestly can't thank you enough for your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.